Hello, this is Jessica Magooch, CEO of JPM Sales Partners, here with you again on our Monday Morning Motivator meeting. Thank you for joining us. If it's your first time joining us, I'm Jess. I am a sales recruiter, trainer, and coach, and I'm sharing everything I learned recruiting, training, and leading a startup sales team from zero to over $100 million in 3 years, so you can do the same and launch your startup vision. And I have with me today a very special guest. Her name is Melinda Elmborg. She's a former VC, and she's transitioned into starting her own accelerator for startups. And I'm going to let her introduce that to you. But Melinda, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, thank you, Jessica, for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here with you.
Oh, we really appreciate your time and sharing your wisdom with us. It's really great.
Yeah.
So tell us about you. How did you end up leaving the VC world and starting up your own company? What's that about?
Yeah, so when I was in venture capital, I was meeting so many startups, both successful startups and not so successful startups, and even failing startups. And that was an amazing experience. However, with time, as I had met a lot of startups, I started seeing what the successful startups were doing differently compared to those who had a harder time. It just became so hard to keep on saying no to startups. I was saying no to like 99% of all the startups I met.
Yeah.
While I felt like I knew how to help them. So I got tired of saying no and quit my job at the VC and started coaching startups instead. So I've been doing that for almost 2 years now.
Excellent. And what's the name of your program?
So my company is called Startup Action, and we have multiple programs depending on like which phase your company is in.
Awesome.
And it's all online and like covering from first like quitting your job and just becoming a startup founder,
Yeah.
and finding product market fit, so you have a product that the users love, and then to like transitioning into a bit more mature company.
Awesome.
That can grow really fast.
Great. So I already asked Melinda to share with you what she thinks are the top 3 mistakes that she's seen, that she collected over her years working on the VC side. Top 3 mistakes startups make so you can avoid them. And even whether or not you get outside funding is irrelevant. In fact, like Melinda and I were talking about prior, it's especially important to follow these rules if you don't get outside funding, because you don't have as much capacity to fail, right? So Melinda, I'm going to turn it over to you. We're going to do a 3-part series, so check in for the follow-up one. Today we're going to talk about the first mistake that Melinda's identified. So Melinda, I'm going to give you this stage today and let us know what that is and how we can avoid it.
Yeah, so I would say the first one is definitely to talk with your users. I meet so many startups who don't really know who their users are and what they're thinking of or what their lives look like. So that, I would say, is the first big mistake that a lot of them do.
Yeah.
And which is normal because, I've been doing entrepreneurship courses at business school, and nowhere they teach you this.
Really?
Yeah, but that's really the first step to creating your company and creating your product, is to know a lot of your potential users and potential customers, and know what their lives look like.
And so what's the consequence of not doing that? Why do you see that as a problem?
So it's something called innovator's bias. That means that you're coming up with a solution that you think is smart and that you think is good, and that you think is a great market for it, and you're super excited. And then you launch that product, and then finally you have no customers, or you have a really hard time to convert customers.
Right.
And that probably means that you've created something that the market doesn't want. And you're going to keep on, like, the thing with innovators bias is that it becomes like the product becomes your baby and you become really dependent of it.
Yeah.
So this is a problem because you've fallen in love with your product and you're connecting it so much with your self-worth,
Yeah.
that you
Yeah.
like keep on saying like, oh, but my market doesn't get it. And we'll
They're
just add
dumb.
some
Like my
features
market's
and then they'll
dumb. They
get
don't
it.
get what how awesome this product is, right?
Yeah. So, and the way out of that is just to speak with your users.
Okay.
And there are different ways of doing it.
Yeah. How is
Of
it
course.
different than doing like a survey or doing research online?
Yeah, so I mean, survey is one part of it. I mean, it depends really on which phase you are in, what kind of way you need to speak to your users.
Okay.
So in the beginning, it's more important to really like sit down and just listen to their problems. While as further you go and you have more of a product that is solving their problems, well, you want to hear how they live their lives, so you know how you can identify when they need this product.
Right.
And then after, like, surveys can also come in after that, and then like data can also of course be a way of getting to know your market. But really it's so important to just speak to the users who are who can help you make a better product that they actually need.
Yeah.
So it's actually
it seems a little obvious, but you're saying that your experience shows people don't do this. Right?
No, they don't. You think like, oh, but it takes so much time. Like I already know them, and you think, but you actually don't. And I advise all startups to like speak to a user once a week, even as you have like $1 million company. Keep on exchanging with them and listening to them. Because that's going to make you, and the thing is that your competitors are probably not doing this, so that's going to make you better than your competitors as well.
Gives you an edge. It also helps you collect like copy for your marketing, you know, because you can actually use their exact words, and it gives you in the same way a salesperson gets to speak with customers, it gives you an ear to the market of what's changing. Usually that'll come through the salespeople first when they hear a new competitor's, you know, coming in, or there's changes in regulations that's going to affect our product or the industry or whatever. And usually those come from the customers.
Right?
I
love what Zapier is doing. So they have their customer service is rotating. So everyone in the company needs to spend like a couple of days or a week per year doing customer service. And it doesn't matter if you're an engineer or if you're in sales or management or whatever, you have to do your fair share of customer service.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really amazing. And I mean, we all know how successful Zapier is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Before we move on to tip 2, I want to make sure they get your free templates that are available on your website. So you want to give us the URL?
Yes. So please go to resources.startupaction.co.
So Melinda has a ton
and then
of
you find all my free resources that you can download.
Yeah. And of course, that'll get you in contact with her so that you can stay abreast of what's going on in her accelerator and how you can apply if you qualify for that. So thanks, Melinda, for tip 1. We'll be back with tip 2.